Hey everybody, today's December 28th, beautiful day in Chicago here on my winter bike, and we are at Promontory Point, and I'm going to do a little tour of Chicago for you as I see it. Currently on my favorite bike path in the world, the Chicago Lakefront Trail. Hopefully give you a little bit of history along the way, some statistics and facts and everything else, but today we're starting at beautiful Promontory Point. There's a beautiful park, bathrooms up there, big circular bike path around this little peninsula just north of the Museum of Science and Industry. You can see Chicago here in the background. Got the Sears Tower, yes, Sears Tower, Lake Point Tower, a variety of condo buildings down here. Might be able to hear Lakeshore Drive in the background, but yeah, we'll do a little bit of a tour as we go. So see you down the trail. All right, here we go. We are started. We are just north of Promontory Point, heading north on the Lakefront Trail. This is probably one of the more coveted spur points in Chicago, especially on Friday morning rides. Those will start usually just north of the city. About 6:30 in the morning is the famous one at Fullerton. Head south, come to Promontory Point, then turn around, head back north for some donuts or bagels or whatever you enjoy. Turn it around. This is what the path looks like. It is split from the walking path. We are right next to Lakeshore Drive, the road, and it stays quite busy and loud in this part. So hopefully you can hear me. And we are back. We are about a mile, 2 miles up the road from our last location, leaving Promontory Point. This is one of the newer additions to the Lakefront Trail. This piece of asphalt, this little turn, and this little bridge. Zooming in, you can see it's quite beautiful. Good architecture, great little Strava point. We're on a little faux flat right now. Annoying little bump, doesn't look like anything. But let me give you a little bit of some statistics about the Lakefront Trail. So, the full separation of the bike path and the walking path happened, I believe, in the mid 2014, 15, 16. It was combined in a few areas, which led to many accidents. So it's a good thing that's now separate. It starts at 71st Street on the south and goes north following Lakeshore Drive, ending up in near Bryn Mawr and the roads up there. It is 18.6 miles long, north to south, north to south to north, whatever you want to call it. Traversed probably, got to imagine, midsummer, 250,000 people. All sorts of commuters, bikes, people, scooters, dirt bikes, Surons, you name it, it's been on this path. In fact, cars end up on it all the time, leading to some interesting Reddit posts. So, as we go north, we'll see a little bit more. And thanks for tuning in. Some of my favorite parts about the trail is that you get peeks of the Chicago skyline at random moments. We're probably 3 miles north, 4 miles north of Promontory Point, which itself is only 2 miles north of the start of the trail. It's utterly gorgeous. Got the walking path right next to us. We're a bit separated from the road over there. You can see the cars up ahead. But this view is just spectacular. Chicago is one of the greatest skylines in the world, not even arguable, and it's home to more important architecture than many countries could put combined. So, we're about to enter a prairie section. Illinois is the prairie state, and you actually see in the summer a lot of native plants and flowers and bugs, birds. It's a really beautiful section here. Unfortunately, we have the road, but you take what you can. So as we exit this beautiful little prairie section, we get a little bit of reprieve from the road. We have a little bit of hills, some great cyclocross practice, you know, a little bit of off-road back in there, mountain biking, gravel bike, what have you. Awesome cycling is happening all over, but we have 31st Street Harbor. Probably see a few boats tied up, sailboats, power boats. This is the newest harbor in Chicago. It was completed, you know, probably about 10 years ago. Really nice cement parking garage here. As we come around this little curve, we're gonna not run into these divvy bikes. We're coming across this sweet little skate park. Fun to rip your road bike around in there, nice angles. I don't love the transitions, it's doable. But yeah, really cool little harbor. And we continue our journey north and try not to run into all the divvy bikes, which is Chicago equivalent of the city bike. So as we pass mile marker 6.5 out of 18.6, we start to see the grandeur that is the Chicago skyline. Get a much better sense of the size. We're probably still 2 miles away. On our right, we can see McCormick Place. It's actually a two-part building. It's also this white one to the left. There's a giant bridge that connects the two that hosts many of Chicago's events, like the Chicago Auto Show, many others. We have a sweet highway, 55, which, and during a critical mass, we took over this ramp and had 1,000 bicycles on the highway. It was a lot of fun. To our left is the Bronville neighborhood. Relatively newer addition, last 30 years to Chicago. Got a lot of investment, really beautiful area. And more prairie. The lakefront would have naturally been a swampy prairie ecosystem. I actually was a naturalist for a long time, and I'm an Eagle Scout, so I enjoyed the plants and the trees. As we get past, good work on you, sir. I'm only in zone 2 today. And this is a great place to walk. You see a lot of people who go to the shows, walk out here, and everything else. So as we come by the building that is McCormick Place, we see across the way these little mounds. This is actually a natural park. It's recently been burned, which is why it's very dark in color and lacking vegetation. But this used to be known as Meigs Field. Meigs Field was an airport built 70s, 60s, long time ago as a private aviation airfield. Small planes, Cessnas, and everything else would fly out there. The sailboats would actually have to go around lighting points way over there in order to not have the mast hit by the planes landing. In fact, you can still see some of the buildings over there. That was the tower. But one of the daily mayors came in one day and drew giant X's with an excavator, rendering the airport completely useless. And some fantastic photos and videos were shown of airplanes taking off from the taxiways. So as we pass McCormick Place fully, we see beautiful downtown Chicago in the South Loop. We have the Nemo building, which is just right of the Sears Tower. In fact, it was designed after the Sears Tower. The Sears Tower is designed after an old cigarette carton box, and the designers pushed up the cigarettes and kind of made that design. And Nemo follows that same 9 square design. We have the south side of Burnham Harbor. This boat just hangs out here all summer and all winter. We have some parking for Soldier Field and McCormick Place. And as we continue north, we will see much more traffic and people as we get closer to civilization. We have the sledding hill, literally just called the sledding hill. We can get a better look now at Meigs Field and its buildings. To our left, zoom back out, we can see Soldier Field, where the Chicago Bears play. 2024 has been a very depressing season, but I follow cycling and racing and sailboats, so it's been fun no matter what. To our right, you can see the tip of the planetarium over there, that little brown roof in the distance. This is the Burnham Harbor main house. I'm gonna go across this little road and back on the trail. And now we can see Soldier Field much closer and much better. Soldier Field is dedicated to the soldiers of war for the United States as a memorial. There are many, including right here, we will never forget, many monuments surrounding it, police monuments, veterans, a variety of wars, and there's just a lot of beautiful public architecture, memorials. Here's another horse, a woman holding a Chicago flag with her dog. To our right, we have the Northerly Island Pavilion. In fact, that's what it's all called, not Mexfield, Northerly Island. There's some great concerts over there. Looks like they've taken it down for the winter. And the planetarium, just north. Here we can see a better view of some of the most southern big skyscrapers. Sorry for trying to do this one-handed. And now we can see not Soldier Field, the Field Museum. Beautiful museum. It's our Museum of Natural History. Sue, the Tyrannosaurus Rex, T-Rex, is located there. And we'll join as we enter museum campus. So now we enter museum campus. And this is where it's going to get very busy, and people are going to be wondering what I'm doing. This is the Shed Aquarium. There's our planetarium. And one of the best views in the world is when you come around this little curve and try not to run over people, is you get the Chicago skyline. And there will be people here all summer taking photos, not paying attention like this guy, and you almost run into them. But it's beautiful. They're finishing some construction here. In fact, they just finished their Caribbean Reef exhibit. Yeah, beautiful building. A lot of sun to see the fishes. This building in the center of our screen was the final design of a famous architect who was killed on his bicycle in St. Charles, Illinois, my hometown. I forgot his name, unfortunately, but it is an interesting design. So it actually starts out very thin in order to not intrude on the building to its south, and then angles outward and takes its full width much, much higher up. Hopefully we can see it. Kind of the bottom part actually shows where it's skinny. Maybe we'll get a better view once we get to the top of this little hill. This is another great little sprint point, and this is where we re-engage Lakeshore Drive. It is, by the way, faster to always ride your bicycle in Chicago, unless it's Sunday morning, anytime after 10 o'clock. And that's pretty much it. I don't think we're gonna be able to see the bottom. But to our left is Grant Park, and this creates the famous Michigan Wall. Thank you, Stuart Hicks, for all your architecture. Fantastic YouTuber, everyone should follow if you're in Chicago. You can see we're following the traffic pretty easily. Nice easy zone 1 right now. Doing about 18 miles an hour with the wind. A lot of great old hotels and buildings, condos. To our right is the harbor. Behind us is Museum Campus. We can start to see Navy Pier a little bit better off to our right. These trees in the summer bloom. They turn pink with flowers down here. And they're really great. This provides a lot of shade. So you have people sunbathing and picnicking and hanging out. This is where Lollapalooza is also hosted. Our big festival and the NASCAR race. This is turn, I think, 2. And then they head south on Lakeshore Drive. As we move a little bit more north, we get closer to Millennium Park, home of the Bean. It's actually called Chicago Cloudgate, but the Bean is its name. And screw the artist, because he is an elite douchebag. A lot of beautiful artworks, installations along the trail. This is a cycling only path, but a lot of people don't know or care. We're at mile 9, so we're about halfway through. In front of us is the St.Regis. In fact, it was called, I believe it was called not Nemo, that was the one in the south side. Forgot the name of it, but it was the largest or tallest building architected by an entire women architecture team. Chicago is renowned for architecture, and it really shows. Aqua, just below it, I don't think we can see it right now, another famous building designed by a female. We have the Aon building right here, home of, oh man, Standard Oil maybe? I don't remember. Obviously Aon, the insurance group, but also KPMG. We have the Prudential building We have Blue Cross Blue Shield right there. The Diamond Building right in the center. This is at the corner of Randolph, Michigan. I always forget what it's called, but it is a beautiful building. We have a university. Actually, I think that's just a condo. We have the Beehive up there. And how can I forget? We just passed Buckingham Fountain and Queen's Landing, where Queen Elizabeth in the 1940s came and landed and, you know, went to the Congress Hotel, and it was pretty. But this is what Chicago's known for. Sights, sounds, it's loud, city of broad shoulders. We have a ice rink up here, parks and everything else. Chicago Yacht Club right here. Again, we'll try not to run into people that aren't paying attention. And as we come around, on your left, or not. Just a lot of beautiful sights and sounds. Chicago Yacht Club. And we'll catch up a little bit further north. So as we come around Lakeshore Drive's outcrop of land, we look south and see South Loop, the McNormandy Grant Park, Museum Campus, and way south, kind of where we came from. In fact, you can see Indiana. There's a giant American flag down there that connotes it. Again, people on the cycling path. Oh, I guess it's tourist season in Chicago. In front of us, we have Lake Point Tower. I think it was built in the 70s, 80s, a long time ago. Kind of a cool building. In fact, it's the only building east of Lakeshore Drive, which is currently above us. To our right, we have Columbia Yacht Club. That's the actual yacht club. It's a giant barge, boat, ferry, whatever it was, that was put on solid ground. Never will move again. We have a boat museum over there, and one of the firefighting, the location of the firefighting boats. And now we're going to do the overpass. This was finished relatively recently, and in the wintertime people forget that bikes exist. In the summer, they're a little bit better. Here's the flyover. Lakeshore Drive above us, Chicago River to our left. On your left! People aren't aware. It's pretty wild. Unfortunately, there's some dumbass's name on that building down there, otherwise it's very beautiful. Here's Navy Pier. Chicago is home to the first Ferris wheel. I know I'm on the wrong side here, but people are people, and they're gonna do people things. DuSable was the founder of Chicago. I believe this will be called DuSable Park when it's completed, as it should. He was a wonderful man and founded this great city. So as we try and dodge all these people not paying attention, we will do the Chicago overpass for cycling. The entire Lakefront Trail probably has 100 feet of elevation change. It cannot be much. This alone is probably 30 feet. There's Navy Pier down there. This is now Streeterville. The buildings are quite tall. And this is a cool view. We're about to pass all these cars. Lakeshore Drive. I've seen a lot of famous photos where this gets covered in snow and cars get stuck and everything else. People just learn to ride. You get around much better. I'm not even pedaling. Barely trying. And we are going to pass all these cars. This is Oak Street Beach. A lot of fun during the summer. This is the Playpen. This is where motorboats who can't afford the fuel go hang out all day because they don't have to go very far. And they just get drunk and, you know, hang out on their watercraft. This is where Chicago's water comes from. It's a purification plant. I believe it's where our waste is processed. Way out on the water are the cribs. There's one right there. The cribs suck in fresh water for the city. There are 3 or 4 of them scattered around. As we come back, we have the beautiful John Hancock. I believe it doesn't actually have that name anymore. I think it's called 915 North Michigan. I've been in that building all the way to the tippy top. There was a great restaurant up there, but COVID had its way with it. And we'll continue north on this lovely trail. Fun fact, the Strava segment along this is about 40 something miles an hour. My buddy Scott currently has it. It was done on a windy day. It was not done by any electrical assist. It was done by brute force, sheer determination, and a crazy southern storm. So as we finish the Oak Street Beach sprint, come around here, facing west now. Better view of the John Hancock to our left. The Drake Hotel somewhere up there. This is another beach. I forgot the name of it. It has escaped me. This might be Oak Street Beach. I don't remember. It doesn't matter. They're busy, crazy in the summer. This is a great little place to get some Mexican tequila shots and everything else. This is pretty much Chicago's shopping district, River North, up into Gold Coast. This is the Gold Coast in front of us. Big volleyball tournaments are played here. In the summertime, they set up this whole giant, I don't know how to even describe it, stadium. Tear it down relatively quickly. So all these buildings are pretty much condos. And in the summertime, this is crazy busy. Most people don't like to ride along here. Kind of a necessity. People don't pay attention like this guy. Oblivious, unaware, unempathetic. Who knows? I tried not to kill them. Division Street to our left. And as we continue down, we almost get to the end of our destination. So as we come upon the end of our ride, we are probably only a mile and a half north of Chicago Loop. And we're gonna end at Trust Pavilion, the start of many of my normal rides. This is North Avenue. There is a boat-like structure here. And this is where a lot of people meet, and this is where you get the beautiful views of Chicago. In fact, many engagement photos probably taken along there. Most likely you've seen one. This is Chess Pavilion right here, and that is where The Bear was recently filmed for a recent season. But thank you for coming along today, and I'm glad we didn't run over that little kid or get run over by clueless tourists enjoying the beautiful weather here in Chicago. Hopefully I'll do a 360 camera video with some nice music, nice edit of all of downtown. And until next time, thanks.